Hi, Rich Carrubba for bowlingball.com. Let's talk about Bowling 369 spare system. Everyone needs to improve their spare shooting to raise your bowling scores, particularly you beginner bowlers, you new bowlers, or people who bowling for a while, maybe averaging 130 or less. You want to work on your spare system. Well, the Bowling 369 spare system is the simplest of all of them. It's been around for decades. It's a good starting system. And then, of course, if you advance in the game, you take professional instructions from certified coaches, you might want to vary your system somewhat. But the key is to have an organized system to make your spares. The 369 system works as follows. It's all based off your strike alignment positioning on the approach. Now, let's say you're a right-handed bowler, you slide with your left bowling shoe. And if you want to position yourself right on the center dot on the approach, making sure you walk a straight line and slide on the center dot up at the foul line, then you're going to use the second arrow from the edge of the lane. Right-handed bowlers, left-handed bowlers the opposite way. So then all your strike deliveries are going to be used for the second arrow. Let's use the same target on the lane for spares, but we'll move our feet either left or right. So we'll change our angle depending on how far the key pin in the spare is located, either left or right from the center head pin where you target for the pocket on your strikes. Very simple. The key thing to remember here then is spares on the left, you move to the right. Spares on the right, move to the left. Okay? You either move 3 boards, 6 boards, or 9 boards to the right or to the left depending on the location of the key pin in the spare combination you have left. Now, spares on the left, the key pin would be the 2 pin, the 4 pin, or the 7 pin. On the right, it would be the 3 pin, the 6 pin, or the 10 pin. So if you leave the 2 pin, you're right-handed bowler, you move to the right on the approach, use the second arrow on the right side of the lane. The key here is to maybe influence your toes slightly and face that pin. Walk up, roll your ball over the same strike target, and your angle change should help you pick up the spare. If you leave the 4 pin, you move 6 boards. If you leave the 7 pin, you move 9 boards. You just change your angle on the approach, use the same target on the lane, and the alignment and the delivery of the bowling ball. If you make a good delivery toward that target, you should pick up that spare. Same thing on spares on the right. You move to the left. 3 boards for the 3 pin, 6 boards for the 6 pin, and 9 boards for the 10 pin. Okay, that's the system in its essence. However, there's a few tips to use this system successfully, and let me just shoot through those for you real quick. When you're adjusting your feet, like I said earlier, influence your toes to point toward the key pin in the spare combination. Why does that work? Because your hips and shoulders also line up toward it. You still want to walk as straight a line as you can, keeping your eye on your same target on the lane, but by influencing or facing the pin somewhat, it's going to be easier to roll the ball over your target and have the right direction toward the pin, toward that key pin in your spare combination. Number 2, if you're a right-handed bowler, for example, and you hook the ball modestly, we recommend for the 10 pin, in the far right corner of the lane, that you move further over to toward the edge of the lane and maybe use the 3rd arrow or between the 3rd and the center arrow as your target. A little experimentation is required, and it helps to work with a coach to help you get lined up just right. One thing you want to avoid is walking back toward the center of the approach. Walk your line. Every time you get lined up, wherever you move, make sure you face the pin and walk your line to the foul line. The reason that you might want to make a bigger change for the 10 pin when you hook the ball, or for left-handers for the 7 pin, real simply, the edge of the lane comes into play if you play too close toward the second arrow, for example, on the 369 system. So that little extra adjustment might help you be successful on that spare combination. Number 3, if the angle change isn't enough, you might have to modify to a 4, 8, 12 system or a 5, 10, 15 system, depending on how dry the lanes are or how much oil is on the lanes. If the center of the lanes are very, very oily and the ball slides a lot, you might want to change from 369 to 4, 8, 12 or even 5, 10, 15 using the same strike target, because it'll help increase the angle toward the spare so the oil doesn't slide the ball back away from the spare. Just a little thing to keep in your mind. It's okay to modify your system. The system is for you. And you want to use the same strike alignment system using the same target on the lane because it's similar toward your strike deliveries. You get real accustomed to rolling the ball in that area, and it makes sense to pivot off that same position at the arrows that the bowling arrow is maybe 15 feet past the foul line. Try to avoid, as we said earlier, walking left or right of target. Deliver your ball the best you can at the same speed every time. Consistent ball speed will help you become more accurate, and you'll have more net effect ball control when you release the ball toward your spare, on the path toward your spare. And finally, if your ball hooks too much, you might want to consider using a plastic or polyester ball for spare shooting to minimize the hook and keep the ball on a straighter path. You'll be a better spare shooter. We hope these tips help you. Good luck with your system, and don't forget to check with your coach.